Today I'll show you how to reuse an old gazebo structure to plant a vertical garden that produces much more squash than a ground cover garden. My name is Choleena. A warm welcome back to my community, and if you're new here, kindly lend me a thumbs up, or should I say a green thumbs up. With this channel, I aim to share my knowledge and experiences about moving to the countryside, being an artist, and being caregiver to an 86-year-old parent. I'll impart tips and tricks to navigating all those topics, as well as include some nature encounters, like this cute deer who photobombed my nature cam. So I hope you'll subscribe and join me on my journey. There are many easy ways to simplify gardening as you age. Off the top of my head, I can think of 3: raised planters, potted deck gardens, and reusing old structures. We have a few old dilapidated structures on the property and have used them as flower gardens and food gardens. We've grown Morning Glories that are dramatic 8-foot-tall vines, producing a wall of blues and purples. We also upcycled these structures into food gardens with climbing cucumbers, green and yellow beans, and squash. This year, we'll grow spaghetti squash and birdhouse gourd vines, both of which can grow vertically 20 feet or more. At the base, you can see I've added old barn board to contain the earth. I'm calling these planting areas troughs, and they are about 1 foot by 6 feet. There are 4 troughs around the structure, so that's 20 square feet of ground. That's tiny for how much height we're going to gain. Vertical gardens are an incredibly resourceful use of space, and they're easier to manage. There is very little weeding to do, and since the vines are growing vertically, they outgrow the competition. As you can see, the original walls of the gazebo are gone, so I have set up dead branches for the vines to climb. Over time, some of the branches do need replacing, so today I'll reuse branches from a dead tree in the front yard. So that's no waste, right? 2 birds with 1 stone. Get rid of an old branch in the front yard and reuse it for the garden. I'll use some bits of wire to affix them to the structure, and we're off. I'm moving quickly to keep this short, but comment at any point with any questions that you might have about the process. Now, between the branches, I'm planting some seedlings that my mom started indoors. They have been acclimatized to the outdoors. For those of you new to that gardening term, it means gradually adapted to living outside. We've got a few months to wait for the crop, but at the end of the season, we'll have squash to eat and gourds to make into birdhouses. Squash are very storage friendly. Keep them in a cool, dark, dry place like a cellar or pantry, and they'll keep for 6 months. So you can have fresh veggies all winter, which we do. That's it for my first over 50 video. If you like this and want more or have a suggestion for the next topic, comment below. Your feedback really helps me know what content is of interest to you folks. In fact, this video was inspired by a suggestion. That's one way to creatively upcycle, make gardening easier as we age, and literally cost $0 to produce. Even the seeds were not bought. They were collected from last year's crop. Between extra squash because of the length of the vine, reduced rot because squash are not touching the ground, and reduced wildlife nibbles because squash is out of reach, I estimate that we get about 4 times the produce by gardening vertically. Thanks for watching. I hope that information is of value to you and worth a like and subscribe. Have a lovely day.